test a man's strength and muscle power by tossing a tree trunk, a 150-pound tree trunk, end over end. And that's only the beginning of what these competitors have in store for them at this year's Highland Games in Balloch.
To understand why these grown men are wearing skirts and tossing trees around, you have to look back at how the Highland Games got started. The haunting sound of a single bagpiper evokes a spirit of this beautiful yet foreboding land. The Highlands dominate the north and west of Scotland. This rugged mountainous region has acted as a fortress, protecting the Highlanders from all outsiders. In their isolation, they developed their own unique form of competition, the Highland Games. The mists of time have blurred the specific origins of these games, but essentially they were used by early clan chieftains. In preparation for battle, they had their warriors lift and toss heavy boulders to see who was the strongest. 900 years later, they're still at it. The pipers are still piping, the dancers are still dancing, and everywhere the tartans are still proudly worn. It's a page torn out of a history book. But a sense of history is not what drives today's Highland Games competitors. They're in it for the money, and they'll go wherever they have to get it.
Tomorrow it's Stonehaven, Monday it's Burnt Island, Tuesday Inverary, Wednesday Luss, and Thursday Mull. I go home Thursday night.
Alistair Gunn is typical of the new breed of Scotsmen that play in the Highland Games. He's more like a cowboy on the rodeo circuit than an ancient clansman down from the Highlands. His life is one of hotels, long drives, more hotels, and a never-ending schedule of events.
You must remember, when we're throwing, it's like a decathlon. Today we're throwing 9 events. So can you imagine 9 events thrown in one afternoon, you know? I mean, Olympic athlete's going to do it, I don't think. You know, and we're doing it every day, so.
Arriving at the field early, Alistair offered to shed light on an age-old Scottish mystery.
Now you're going to see what the Scotsman wears under his kilt. But maybe not today.
So instead, I asked him to demonstrate some of the finer points in how the events are played.
This is a 16-pound hammer, which I quite enjoy. And you give it 4 swings. You just swing it around your head like that. Just like that. Ooh.
Okay,
now you try it.
Now, as you...
Come on.
1,
you can throw it.
2, 3.
Throw it. Throw it.
Oh!
Oh, yeah. Good.
Oh.
Good. Super little toss.
Did you hear what he said? Hey, super little toss.
Alistair was beginning to tweak my competitive spirit, so I had to try again. Unfortunately, all I did was prove that these events are really much harder than they look.
6-pound weight.
Over my head. Now I've got a bad back.
What did I tell you?
Watching the Highland Games is much like being at a 3-ring circus. Everything is happening at once. Different events are taking place everywhere. There are foot races, bike races, a unique kind of wrestling called Cumberland-style wrestling, and of course there are bagpipe competitions. Local bands compete on the basis of skill, appearance, and sound. These games also have one of the most serious tug-of-wars you can imagine. But what brings out the big money players is what's considered the traditional Highland Games. Events like the hammer toss, shot put, 56-pound and over, weights for distance, and of course the caber toss. At stake today is more than clan pride. There's hundreds of dollars in prize money. It's said that the hammer toss got started in blacksmith shops. Young apprentices, feeling frisky after a day of banging horseshoes, decided to challenge each other to see how far into the pasture they could throw their hammers.
137.7.
Today, the handle may be longer and the technique more refined, but the principle is still the same. A couple of hours into the competition, Alistair gave us an update on his performance.
Well, the first event I was third. It was a 16-pound hammer, so wasn't too disappointed, but you get things like that happens. The next event was a 22-pound hammer, which I was first. It was only a foot or two in front of the next guys, so I was happy with that. And then the next event was a 28-pound weight for distance, which I won by 5 feet easily.
Alistair went on to snag another first place in the 56-pound weight for distance. But in the 16-pound shot put, he could only muster a second place, and in the 22-pound, only a fourth. But with enough cumulative points for a comfortable lead in the overall standings, Alistair had his eye on the big prize. No doubt everyone's favorite event of the day is the caber toss. Now the object is to lift this huge tree trunk or caber, balance it, then you run and toss it so that it flips end over end. Not an easy thing to do. And if you're a spectator, you better be on your toes. Now if you thought that looked dangerous, check this out. The officials of this toss should receive the Poor Planning Award for the day. Notice the tug-of-war going on in the background. Hard hats, anyone? The origin of the caber toss goes back to the days when Highlanders working in the forest needed to float trees downriver to the sea. The ability to toss the logs into the river became a unique skill, and soon early Scotsmen were challenging each other to see who could throw the furthest. It seems this caber has been tossed one too many times, because when this man dropped it, it broke. This caused a bit of a problem for Alistair, since he hadn't quite qualified for the final event.
So you didn't have a fair throw, but now do you get to go into the finals?
Yeah.
Why? Because you...
I argued with him.
That works sometimes. Good luck.
At the Highland Games, what really separates the men from the boys is the heavyweight caber toss. But on this day, it seems like everyone forgot to eat their Wheaties.
This is the 56 over, it's called. It's the 8th and final event. Up to this point, Alistair has won 3 events, which means he has some money in his pocket. But what he's really after is the overall championship and the trophy.
At the lower heights, Alistair is able to breeze through. But as the bar inches upward, fewer and fewer men are able to keep up. With the bar at 14 feet 6 inches, even Alistair could go no higher. But lucky for him, clearing the bar at 14 feet today was good enough.
The winner of the Valentine's World Heavyweight Championship, a big hand please for Alistair Gunn. Champion Thom was second.
It's been a long day. Now you're going to